Capitalism, a system of the most rational distribution of resources an economy can manage, from completely random market pulls, and far away from people's eyes, the massive lots, the graveyards of brand new cars that people don't see. In reality, there are many, many, many of these properties filled with brand new cars that were never sold. This is called channel stuffing. It is a method by which automotive manufacturers hide declining sales and stagnant end demand. The worst part is that there are hundreds of these lots all over the world, obscuring the industry's overproduction crisis. These new cars go to waste. They sit there and rot. Automobile manufacturers have to buy more and more land to store them. General Motors, it seems, is dealing with a record high number of these lots. The fact is, people just aren't buying cars the way they used to. They're not buying them anywhere near in the numbers that they once did. And this is one of the sure signs that the economy, at least for the working and middle class, has not recovered from the global collapse of capitalism in 2008. The sales still aren't there. And in fact, the lack of sales are being obscured. So, I mean, what's the big deal? I mean, you could just take all those cars and sell them at a lower cost. I mean, some money back is better than no money back at all, right? Well, you see, the problem with that is, why would you pay the exorbitant amount for a new car if you know you can get that same brand new car for much less? In other words, if they actually did lower the price in order to meet what it is that the market wants, they would lose profitability. The automotive industry is overproducing. This is a form of capitalist crisis. Capitalism is a system predicated on infinite growth, which we know is impossible, but remains integral to bourgeois economic theory. Eventually, through the nonstop expansion of capitalist economy, there reaches a point where there is no longer any profitable place to invest. The investment of capital can no longer be turned into more capital via the production and sale of a commodity. This forces capitalism to engage in a destruction of unsold commodities and eventually a wide elimination of the use of the means of production or constant capital. This becomes crisis, which takes many forms. Idle capital with nowhere to invest, idle means of production, factories with excess capacity, unemployed workers, unpaid debt, and large collections of unsold commodities. In another sense, however, the term overproduction is valid, but it is not goods and services which has been overproduced, but capital. The solution to this is a widespread devaluation of capital, laying off workers, selling off excess capacity to produce, or lowering the price of those commodities which have already been produced but are not being sold. Or you could put them in gigantic lots and hide them and pretend they don't exist. This can also be tied in with the falling rate of profit. Clearly, what we have here is a resource, steel and other things, not being rationally allocated. They're being put into something that is not even profitable, which means they're not being allocated rationally. Eventually, this system of just simply hiding cars that aren't being sold is going to catch up with them, and it's going to have a huge economic impact on them, if not possibly the rest of the various countries in which this is taking place. This also, I think, demonstrates a great hypocrisy on the part of the capitalist. The market is all well and good when it creates huge prices that increases profits through the ceiling. But when the market works the other way in the favor of the consumer or in the favor of the worker in terms of the labor market, then all of a sudden the market must be interfered with. The market must be manipulated in some way in their favor. They talk a big game about the market being the best way to do anything and everything, yet we can clearly see those, the capitalists, the people with the power, certainly twist it when it doesn't work out in their favor. Thank you for watching. Please comment and rate the video. If you liked it, hit subscribe or check out some of these other great videos. If you wish, share it on social media. While you're at it, why don't you follow me on Twitter? And if you got time, go on over to the MRN bookstore and check out some of the latest books available.